Hi, everybody, wherever you may be around the world. Welcome back. This is Ham Radio Live.
Come on, baby. Let's do the twist. Come on, baby. Let's do the twist. Take me by my little hand and go like this. The party was packed. I'm talking back to back. There was a rapper that was rapping to a beat that was whack. They was going through the motions out on the dance floor. And when the rapper was done, they wasn't yelling encore. The people were tired of the same old groove. They wanted something dead, something new and improved. Something easy to do, but hard to resist. I got something for y'all. What do you call it? The twist. Come on, baby.
This is a really good remix.
Let's do the twist.
Chubby Checker and the Fat Boy.
Checker and the bad boys. We're doing the twist.
Just changing up for the third time.
Take us by our little hand
Got to do something different, right?
and go like this.
All right, wherever you may be around the world, happy Friday. It's June 17, 2022. Fun show, technician exam questions and answers. Funnies Friday, your comments worldwide. And angry or funny, is this ham angry or funny? We're going to find out as we watch through this show. I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be a fun show. Make you laugh and giggle and make a little lighter day for your Friday. Wherever you may be, welcome back to Ham Radio Live.
Prince Marky D. Check out that cool ride. He's rocking like me. Here comes the big boss. Come on, do it, Buffy.
From around the world, wherever you may be, away we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the shack in Oregon. My name's Larry Mike Holstein. Amateur Radio's Kilo 7 Hotel November. I appreciate understanding. I take care of my brother, and he's just out of the hospital. And when someone calls that I know it's an important call medically for him, I have to take it. So I'm sorry about that. It's just been one of those days. So please understand. You have my apologies. I don't like to start and stop. It's nothing more embarrassing to me than having a mouse freak out and then the phone call comes. It's like, now what's going to happen in Larry's world, huh?
No!
Yeah, so thanks for understanding. I appreciate it. I just want to tell you that to start with, okay? All right, so we've got a real problem here because we got to figure some stuff out.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
Depends on the show, all right? It really does. So if it was the first show, it would be this man. This is Kevin O'Doublehan, all the way from the beautiful Emerald Isle of Ireland. Kevin was first in for the first show we did today, so give him a good old beep beep.
Meep, meep.
Nice to have you, Kev. Thanks for being here back. Man, it's so funny. You do three, and everybody wants to be first, right? And I get that. And that's so much fun. It's a neat element to the show, and I'm grateful you guys enjoy it. Thank you for that. Who came in second is who also came in second. I'm sorry, who came in second this show? Wait, let's freeze over again. I'm confused now. Who came in first for show number 2 and 3 would be this one. This is the Smokin' Ape, who we know comes from an unknown place with incredible mind powers. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but during Coffee and Ham Radio, what he does is he looks straight in the camera, and at times, you're being mentally hypnotized to buy into his products and stuff, and also to watch more of it. I don't know if you know that, but that's what he does. He's one of the coolest doggone guys on YouTube. He's got an amazing show on weekends. Join him on Coffee and Ham Radios. It's at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 in the East, at 7 in the Pacific for the Smokin' Ape on Coffee and Ham Radios. He came in first on show number 2 and number 3. Welcome, mates. It made it easy to figure out. Just took Larry a moment to figure it out. Winan, you came in third, but doggone it, that's worth something to me, so welcome. Yes, and what's cool, see, is Winan actually comes from Africa. Yeah. So Winan, thank you for coming to all 3 shows that we are now doing today. Dwight Hitchin, third time the charm. Gosh, I hope so. I really do. Roger McKeon and Molly, Kilo Juliet 7, Lima X-Ray, and K9, welcome. Tom as well. Alpha 9 2 Golf Whiskey, Alpha Echo 1 Tango Papa, back in New York Groove. Nah, I decided to flip it up because y'all have heard that song too many times already. You start the show, right? And it starts from live. It's live from the first cut of the first note of that song to the very end of the sign off. is live. So, it's like I thought, okay, how am I going to do? I better not play the same song 3 times. So I'm going to just change it up. So we did. Richard Clark, welcome. Mike 7, Delta Lima, Quebec. Third time lucky. I hope so. And thank you for coming. Good to see you, mate. Also, want to welcome to the group Nikolai, Yankee Oscar 8, November India Kilo from Romania. Thanks for coming. Sorry, it's been one of those days, guys. Rod Walensky, Ron, welcome. November 8 Whiskey Charlie Romeo. Rodney's here from Holland, Pop Alpha 9, Romeo Whiskey, excuse me. And I'm looking at Jenna. Jenna's here. Time to see all my hellos again. November 4, Juliet Echo Hotel. We have a special little thing for you today. Hope you like it. Folks, the reason we're here is to help you to get an amateur radio. It really is. And the best way is to get a hold of a big club, right? A big club's going to help you find a small club. That's key because a small club can help you understand amateur radio and the rules and the test, and also maybe help you get on the air with some gear too. And that's really big, especially if you want to do HF stuff, high frequency stuff. So you're contacting continents instead of counties. Big deal. Contact the American Radio Relay League. They're wonderful people. You can find them at www.arrl.org. Please just let them know where you're from and you'd like to get your license, and they'll send you an amateur radio club that's close to you. www.arrl.org. If you hear from CQ Calling Show at WRMI, welcome. Pull up a couple of copies and just kind of sit back and chat with us about radio for a while. It'll be fun. Also, our show email is cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. That's CQ hamradiolive@gmail.com. On Discord, we're at ham-radio-live. A link to that will be put in the description section of the video. What's today's question? Today's topic question: what's something you've learned about in radio? Now think about that. It could be anything, right? Maybe it's roofing filters, could be how to receive, maybe it's antenna building, maybe it is how to make your own antenna, switcher, or possibly something else in radio. What have you learned in radio? Let's share it today in the comment section. We'll make it part of the show. The weather today is powered by ICOM. ICOM, for the love of ham radio. I've had a request from the UK to do a longer version of this, and I'll do my best for you, okay? The A1A is really a view in angstroms of solar radiation that's coming from the sun. This is what the A1A looks like. Now, the bright spots are sunspots. That's what they are. But this shows a little more of their activity, and you kind of see how the fountains of energy go up and down. The sun is a gigantic magnet. That's really what it is. And every 11 years or so, the North and South poles, which are magnetized. So say, for example, the North Pole is the negative end and the South Pole is the positive end. They switch, they flip, and that's what happens. That's what causes a solar cycle. So you have areas then that start to form on the solar surface called coronal mass ejections. It's when negative and positive areas of the sun cross and an explosion happens. That's what a CME is. So that's why we start to see more and more of them as the solar peak gets closer. Your backside of the view, and this is really a tiny backside view of the sun, it's just to the left of that white crescent. Another sunspot region's coming. 31 and 37 are starting to go away, but we've got good conditions for the weekend. Here's the coronal hole map. This is the way it kind of should look, but these are not named. These darker areas are not named, and they're not true coronal holes. However, we're getting a lot of A index and a lot of radiation from the sun today in big numbers, from our solar wind. This is a magnetosphere view. So the magnetosphere view of our sun gives us an idea of exactly how big and where the sunspots are. So on the left, you see 3038, then moving to the right, 3033, 3032, and 3030, okay? Below that, 3034, and down from that one is 3035. And then as we move to the southwest limb of the sun, 3031, 3037, and just the remnant, the very end of 3036 is still there. But all of those, no matter where they're at, are still giving us solar radiation. And that's a good thing. The last 3 days of solar flare detection, it's been pretty quiet. We did have an M1.3 flare, which was about 3 days ago, but we've already passed the time frame for a CME and impact from that. But look for more CMEs coming, maybe over the weekend too. That could happen. SFI is up to 147. That's up 7 from yesterday. It's going to climb big time tomorrow again. When we have a solar sunspot number of 159, that's huge. We're up 10 from yesterday. Area number is a little down. It's down 80. It's now at 730. But take a look at Solar Cycle 25 predictions. Now, this came from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And when they did the solar cycle prediction, they predicted that the solar sunspot number would reach about 106. That would be the maximum number we would see of sunspots, but that's not what's happened. The actual sunspot number is right now 159, so we are 50 plus over that prediction. Pretty good. So we've got good conditions for you, my friends. The K-index, this is what noise floors come from. It's from the planets, okay? So our planets around us have an impact on our magnetic field. That magnetic field has an impact on our radios. It's what helps static crashes and not static crashes, but your noise floors. So when we have high noise on the band, you'll typically see on QRZ, for example, we take a look here and you'll see on the third line from the bottom, signal to noise level. Okay, that's S2 to S3. Because we now have a K3 in our noise floors, it's unsettled. Okay, but if we go just one tick lower, to K2, it's called quiet conditions. That's when things like 80, 40, and even 30 meters and 60 meters, 160 turn quieter because there's a lot less noise out there for them to be loud. That's the whole point of it. So we want our K-index to be quieter than this. That's what we want it to be. So at K3, it was a little bit high earlier in the day. You see it 1648. Then 2 hours later, it's down to K2. So that's a good thing. We're going down now, and we should go down the rest of the day. I think tonight, your noise floors will be really good on 40 and 80 and 160. 30 meters, 60 meters as well. Should be good. The problem is the BZ latitude continues to go southward, and we don't want that to happen because that's where a lot of fading comes on the bands. You get more fade when you get a negative BZ component to the atmosphere, and right now, the ionosphere is getting hit from the south, minus 1.1. Solar wind is also pretty high today at 621.6 kilometers per second. But look at that, 6.4 and 2 meter E-skip is open today. Remember, it's a high maximum usable frequency on 2 meters. So towards the top of the 2 meter band, you should get good conditions. Also, because of the high solar wind and negative BZ, we have only fair daytime conditions for 80, 40, 30, 20. And take a look at 17, 15. That's good. And the reason it's good is because it's less impacted by a high A index and a high solar wind. 17 and 15 meters are high enough in frequency that it doesn't hurt them with a high solar wind and a little more radiation coming from the sun. 12 and 10 meters stand out a little differently. It's fair for 12 meter daytime only because the MUFs are not pushing 12 meters very far north right now. You'll get it close to sunset as well as 10 meters, but right now during the daytime, it's classified as fair. So hang in there. We'll get better conditions coming your way. A indexes, we want them to be low, so we want them below 10. That's the magic number. And you see today, A index, last one here is at 12. So A index of 12. What's perfect? What are we looking for to make it right? 3 days of a solar flux index above 150, and we're close enough today at 147 to make that worthwhile. So count this as day one. The next thing, K index must be below 2 for the next 2 days. Well, we're at 2 right now. So by Sunday, we should have ideal conditions according to what we would normally have if we were really in a great spot in the sunspot cycle, which we really are. Your Kilo Charlie 2 Golf map from about, I'd say now, close to 25 minutes ago. Alaska near Fairbanks was 10 megahertz, right about the U.S.-Canadian border. That's where 20 megahertz is great in the northern part of the States, and you're more on 19 megahertz in Canada, all right? So it's just got to come north as the day goes on. Those numbers are going to increase. Along New England side, 19 near Boston, 20 at the panhandle of Florida. In South America, 35 northern Brazil, Uruguay, right about 27 megahertz, and in Argentina, they're at 37, so decent conditions. And you see how that southern lobe, that yellow part, that's 10 meters. We want that to come more north, but it's really been staying in the south, and the northern lobe hasn't been coming north until right about sunset. Currently in Europe, 17 megahertz in France, 18 Germany, 24 in Portugal, 23 in Spain, 25 southern Italy, 22 just north there in Egypt. As we head towards Tokyo, 18 megahertz. And the folks in my dear friends that are in Australia, you're going to have great conditions today. Really will. New Zealand, Australia should get 10 meters by I'd say the noon hour. So you should have some good conditions. Today's ranking will be an 8. If we get a better BZ latitude and less solar wind, we'd have a higher number. But really, we are so far ahead of where solar cycle 25 should be that honestly, with a couple of years more or so of this going upwards, man, we're going to have an amazing solar cycle. I want to welcome you to the show and happy Friday. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming today. It's an honor to say hello to you guys today. So I mean that very much. Winan, I can always count on you for fun. Winan's going to keep his pet lion.
Thank you.
Good for you. Yeah. Don't get him near me. We're good. We're good there, mate. We're good. And I'm glad you guys came back. Sorry about, again, the stream and then the mouse, the stream, and the hospital calls. There you go. Aaron Lutz, welcome. That's Kat. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming. iRadio Coach, welcome back. Good to have you. Thank you. First timer, welcome to the show. Nice to have you. And Dwight, thank you. Yeah, that's true. Tom says, I think Smoking Ape is in the next room, always first. It's like right next door. That's great. Aaron, the been a busy couple of days, but the garden is done. I got my 160 to 10 inverted V up and running. That's great news. Woohoo! That's good stuff right there. Ron, welcome. That's Canadian Maker Project. He's got a good YouTube channel. Find him here at Canadian Maker Project, or just do his call sign, Victor Alpha 3 Foxtrot Union Charlie. Ron, welcome to the show. Nice to have you, buddy. Yeah, it really is. Good to have you. Andy Bronson, oh, brother. Mike 7, X-Ray Tango checks in from England. Thank you. And Rodney, bless your heart. He's got such a great sense of humor. I love Rodney. You'll see some of his humor in today's show. This will be a funny show. You'll love it, especially, I'm going to ask if you guys think this ham is angry or funny. It could be both, whatever you think. Rodney's got a great sense of humor. Hakuna Matata, thank you for that. That's the way things go. And Spike, they were using National Guard Chinooks to evacuate some campers from the flood. And again, he's talking about Yellowstone National Park maybe being closed for the summer. That's devastating for that area because that's tourism. That's where their money is driven from. And think about the poor families who took up their year and they're like, we're going to Yellowstone this year. Yep, kids, we're going. And then they can't. That's a terrible blow. So, yeah. Best to all of them. My brother Bob, courtesy of WIFI, welcome. Thank you for coming. And also all of you, wherever you are. Look at this. Charlie's back. Good to see you, Chuck. Are you back from your trip? It's great to have you. November Juliet 7 Victor. He's here from Arizona, possibly. We'll find out. Charlie, welcome. It's good to have you here. All right, guys, let's get on with the show because we got a lot to do today. We're going to try and help you get your amateur radio license. This is the technician class. And the Ham Bites today is powered by Ham Test Online. It's the software that knows you, and they have a money-back guarantee if you don't pass your ham radio license exam. Find them online at Ham Test Online. They will get you started for your amateur radio license journey. And look at this. If you go to their main page, right, you take a look, and it says, look down towards the bottom where it says Generate New Practice Exam. Take a look for technician. They have the current one in place, and then the one that starts, look at this, on July 1st is already there. You can start taking the new test, which doesn't go into effect till July the 1st. That's fantastic. And this is what you can expect from them. You can do a simulated exam, a true random. You can focus on your weak areas, focus on your unseen items, things like this. It's what helps make Ham Test Online really, really special. So again, money back guarantee. If you don't pass the test, find them online at Ham Test Online. They're well worth it. They really are. Question number 1 for technician class today. What is voice over internet protocol? Now, voice over internet protocol, think of it as a way we use ham radio through the internet. If you can remember it that way, you'll get the question right. All right. Here is the answer. It's the first one. A method of delivering voice communications over the internet using digital techniques. All right. Look for the word over the internet. And there's only 2 that have it. Okay. The bottom one, a set of rules specifying how to identify your station when linked over the internet to another station is definitely not it. It's asking for you to define what voice over internet protocol is, okay? So remember, VoIP is simply a method of delivering voice communications over the internet using digital techniques. And why that last 3 letters, those last 3 words are there, is because you can do it through a repeater. And that's through digital modes on your amateur radio on VHF or UHF. It's pretty simple. And you'll do things like on Yaesu, you'll do wires X here. This is a great way you can do it and talk to people in different countries through wires X, but it goes over the internet through a wires X system and then it lands in another country. It's kind of cool. D-Star also works that way. So these are voice over internet protocol ways to work communications, and you can do it as a technician. So that makes it kind of cool. So remember, it is the answer for this one is a method of delivering voice communications over the internet using digital techniques. All right, next question. What does the abbreviation F as in Foxtrot, E as in Echo, T as in Tango stand for? The answer here, this is a very important transistor, and it's used in amplifiers. It really is. A lot of amateur radio amplifiers use these. These are what helped replace tubes back in the late 60s. In this case, it is called a field effect transistor. Okay, that's the name of it. So when you see FET, think field effect transistor, and you'll have it right. As long as you know FET, field effect transistor, you'll have it good. This is what they look like. They're very small. And this is actually what replaced tubes in terms of amplifying our signals. So remember, FET, field effect transistor, you'll have it right. Next, what's the approximate bandwidth of AM fast scan TV transmissions? This will work same on 70 whether it's on HF or 70 It's about 6 megahertz. That's the bandwidth. So when they talk about approximate bandwidth of AM fast scan TV transmissions, just remember 6 megahertz. If we're talking the best way to do this really is, like if you're going to CW, right, it's about 50 hertz. That's it. If you're going to sideband, that's about 3 kilohertz. That's what the test wants you to know. So CW is 50 hertz, sideband is 3 kilohertz, and slow scan television, 6 megahertz. Remember that, and you'll have it correct. All right, next question. If your license has expired and is still within the allowable grace period, you may continue to transmit on the amateur radio bands. Is that number 1? Yes, for up to 1 year. 2, yes, for up to 2 years. 3, yes, as soon as you apply for renewal, or no, you must wait until the license has been renewed. This is kind of common sense, but just in case, make sure you understand the answer is no. It's the only no answer there is here. You can't transmit until your license has been renewed. Once you've got that, you're good. The main benefit here, and you might ask, why would this even be on the test? The answer is really about the call sign, because there's a grace period to keep your call sign. That's really what the grace period is about, helping you hold on to your license and keep your call sign without getting another randomly assigned call sign. So that's what the answer is for. Okay. Next, which of the following frequency ranges are available for phone operation by people in the technician class? This is why you want to license up to general, truly. If you want to do high frequency stuff and contact people in other continents with your radio instead of using the internet to do so, okay, you only get 200 kilohertz, and it's at the bottom. Here's where it's at. It's the fourth one. You get 28.3 megahertz to 28.5 megahertz. That's the extent of the HF privileges you get for voice as a technician. That's it, just the bottom one. So it's 28.3 to 28.5. You get 200 megahertz. And keep in mind, this is really important. You get the 200 megahertz only because, why did that flip like that? That was odd. So 28.3 to 28.5, that's the only HF band voice you get. You get, CW, in other bands and stuff like that, but you do not get voice other than on 10 meters. A good reason to license up to general, because then you get about 97% of the frequencies. And it's really great because other countries, because of their band plans, don't work well with our band plan because we get more, and other countries tend to have less. So that's why it's important. If you can get the general, technician, try and go up to the general. It'll help you. Next, what type of propagation is responsible for allowing over the horizon VHF, and that means very high frequency, and UHF, which is ultra high frequency communications, to ranges of approximately 300 miles on a regular basis? All right. So we're talking about VHF and UHF. And remember, those two modes are typically line of sight, which is roughly 11 miles. Now you may go farther through a repeater, but this is talking about going 300 miles on a regular basis. This is because of tropospheric ducting. That's the reason why. And this has to do with cold fronts and warm fronts. That's how it works. That's exactly how it works. Let's take a quick look at this. All right. Here's the layers of the atmosphere. All right. The closest one to Earth is the troposphere. It's only 7 kilometers above the surface. The ionosphere starts at 60 kilometers up. So we're talking about a signal that doesn't go up very far, but what it does do is as it travels up through that cold air, it bounces around up there. If it hits the warm air, it goes out and into space, so it doesn't get heard. But this is what can make VHF and UHF signals go a long ways. If you have an inversion layer where the warm air is above the cold air, that's how this actually works. So the answer, tropospheric ducting, that's how you can get communications to be approximately 300 miles or more on a regular basis, because you're simply riding the cold air that's trapped by the warm air above. That's tropospheric duct. All right, which of the following actions can reduce exposure to RF radiation? Now, take the question and think about the only answer that would help you to not be exposed to RF radiation, which is the power coming from your antenna. That's all it is. Okay? The four given: relocate antennas, relocate the transmitter, increase the duty cycle, or all of these choices are correct. Well, let's take a look at number one: relocate antennas. That's true. Absolutely true. The farther away the antenna is, the less exposure you have to RF radiation. Number two, relocate the transmitter, has nothing to do with this because it's all about the antenna. The transmitter could be anywhere, right? But you're not going to relocate the transmitter. You want to relocate the antenna. All right. If you increase the duty cycle, you're actually increasing your exposure to RF radiation. So all of these choices can't be right either. So you can't increase the duty cycle, and you don't want to relocate the transmitter. Just relocate your antennas, and that will be the right answer here. Relocate the antennas, and you'll have it right. Next, what mode is meant by the statement that a satellite is operating in UV mode? And what's cool as technicians is you can operate off of satellites, including the International Space Station. You can talk to the astronauts up there. It's so cool, really is. The answer by UV mode is the satellite uplink is on the 70 centimeter band and the downlink is on the 2 meter band. That's the answer to the U and V mode, all right? And why it's UV is here. U is UHF, that's 70 centimeters. The 70 centimeter band is on the UHF spectrum of the radio band. V is for VHF, that would be 2 meters. So UV, U is UHF for 70 centimeters, downlink, the V is on the 2 meter band. That's part of VHF. So that's why it's called U and V. Next, which of the following indicates that a station is listening on a repeater and looking for a contact? So this would be when your mate, maybe about 15 miles away, is contacting the repeater that's between you on the hill and would like to talk with you. All right. What would they do? What they would do is they would do number two, the station's call sign. So your friend would give his call sign or her call sign, followed by the word monitoring or listening. It could be monitoring or listening. But the fact is, so you know the test and you get it right. Monitoring. If you just do that, understand, call sign followed by the word monitoring, you'll have it right. That's the right way to work a repeater and to listen for a contact. After that, if you're be careful if you're on the calling frequency. That's where you want to make establish contact and maybe move up or down 10 kilohertz or whatever. Just try and move away from the calling frequency. But again, if you're trying to do this, just looking for a call, give your call sign and the word monitoring, and that's all you have to do. Next, what do the FCC rules state regarding the use of a phonetic alphabet for station identification in the amateur radio service? This is where Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Foxtrot, all those come from. Okay, the answer is it's encouraged. It's not required in any way. It's just encouraged. So when you get this question, remember it's encouraged to do that. Just like upper sideband above 10 megahertz and lower sideband below 10 megahertz is just amateur practice. That's all. It's not required. There's no rule about it. It's just amateur practice. So this is one of those times where it's encouraged. Okay, last question. What is meant by check in a radiogram header? All right, now, if you've had a radiogram the last time of your lifetime, then great. Yeah. I've never had one, but yeah, there you go. In fact, the funny part is the guy that's either angry or funny that will watch the video at the end of the show. I hope you love it. He uses this actually as one of his bits for this. Okay. So what's meant by check in a radiogram header? What the word check means is it's the number of words or word equivalents in the text portion of the message. That's what check means in a radiogram header. The number of words or word equivalents in the text portion of the message. is a check. Thanks to Ham Test Online, you can study for any of the U.S.'s amateur radio licenses at the comfort of your own home, while on the road, while walking the dog, while doing your own thing. Ham Test Online, the money-back guarantee if you don't pass, and I want to thank them for giving us our Ham Bite segment today. Thank you. Happy Friday. Friday's here. Good. All right, we got good guests coming. Hayden, Ham Radio DX, joins us on June 24th at 2300 UTC. That'll be fun. Looking forward to having Hayden on the show to talk about ham radio, his YouTube channel, and answer your questions. Please join us. That's a different day and different time. It's a week from today at 2300 UTC. Meet Hayden from Ham Radio DX. It'll be a fun show. Then July 9th at 19 UTC, join us and meet Carlos, Kilo Delta 9, Oscar Lima, November. We're going to talk about Parachute Mobile. I'm so excited to have Carlos on the show. That's going to be a fun show. Please join us July 9th at 1900 UTC. Then July 16th at 1900 UTC, meet Kevin Zenyani of BioInno Power. We're going to talk about battery power in your rig for summertime and making those wonderful calls for field day. Please join us July 16th. I know it's after field day, but lots of summer activities going to be ahead still, and you can find out what battery would be appropriate with your radio. Please join us July 16th, 1900 UTC. That's going to be 8 p.m. in London, 3 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone of North America, and noon Pacific for Kevin. That'll be a good show. Then on July 30th, Jason from Ham Radio 2.0 joins us. We're excited about that. He'll be here at 1900 UTC. His call sign, Kilo Charlie 5 Hotel Whiskey Bravo. He'll talk about his YouTube channel, talk about the products he's tested. He'll answer your questions worldwide. Please join us for Jason. That'll be a fun show here on Ham Radio Live. Don't forget, we got a topic question today. The question is show, what's something you've learned about in radio? Let us know. We'll make it part of the show. All right. Today, we're going to celebrate somebody from the channel who's so sweet and fairly new to a live stream, which is kind of cool. So why don't we just cue the music now? Ringgold, Georgia. How about that? That's pretty darn special. Jenna, thank you for being a part of our show. We appreciate you coming, and we like to honor. That's my favorite part of the whole darn show. Really is. All right, guys, let's get in your comments real quick, and we will try and skedaddle with the next segment. This will be a fun show. I can't wait to get in the funnies picture. You're going to love the funnies today. The funnies will be a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe get a little giggle and laugh today in your day. So I hope you enjoy it. Aaron Lutz from Canada, been a busy couple of days, but the garden's done. The 160 10-meter antenna is up, and that's all that matters, right? That's a good thing. That is. Andy New, welcome back. Mike 7, Charlie Union November. Ron again. Victor Alpha 3, Foxtrot Union Charlie. The Wicked Loud One's back. We got the whole group back. And Jeff, thanks for the link to the ARL. I appreciate that. Good to see you guys today on a beautiful Friday. There's my brother Bob, courtesy of WIFI. Bob, welcome. Good to have you, brother. And we got a good group today. We really do. I hope I get to your comments. I'll do my best today. I really will. I promise. It's just been one of those days. And there is Graham. Good to see you. VK Radio Ham. That is continent number 4. No, 5. That's 5. 5 continents watching live. Graham, good to see you. Victor Kilo 3 Golf Echo Kilo. Thank you for coming today. It's good to have you. So 5 continents. It's North America, South America. We've got, not South, sorry. North America, Europe, Asia, Australia. Oh, we're missing South America still, aren't we? No, Africa. So there's 5. Okay. That's really humbling to me. Thank you guys. Seriously. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Wow. Can't wrap my mind around that. Smoke and Ape Larry does great explaining the solars. Thank you. That's nice of you to say. Thank you very much. I hope it's understandable. That's my hope. Because that was the hope. That's what the guy Great Britain wanted. He's like, okay, can you help me understand a little better about that? That would be great. Charlie's still at the Orlando airport. Long travel day. Be safe. Get home safe, mate. Yeah. All right. And we're also, by the way, we're going to get into some stuff here. Hopefully today that'll make you laugh with our funnies page on our Discord page, which will be fun. Tonto Emeritus, welcome. First timer. That's great. Greetings from Indy, the central dystopian Huziergeti plain. All good things to thee and thine. That's awesome. Well done. Hard to read for me, but I'm grateful you did it. Thank you. Tono, you fit in well with this group. Oh my gosh, you guys. What a great day. It's good to see you, and I'm thanking you guys for coming today. It's been an interesting day. It really has been. We started off with the Amateur Radio Club from Dallas not doing the antenna. They said no. And their president was so sweet. And I really want to give a lot of love out to Bob. And I'm not going to do the call sign. It's not worth it. Bob, you know who I'm talking about. Bob, you're a wonderful man. I thank you very much for your email. I wish I could just do the antenna myself. That would be the best way to do it and fix the problem myself, right? But I can't. And that's just the limitations I have. But I thank you for bringing it to your club, and to all those guys who supported me with your club. I just wanted to say a quick thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. Sometimes it just works out at a different time. That's it. Don, November 5 Sierra Kilo Tango, welcome. She says, I got one in 91 when I got my first license. You got a radiogram? Are you kidding me? Whoa. Put on Discord, dude. Let's see it. Kyle, welcome. Alpha Alpha Zero Zulu. That is an amazing call. Hi, Kyle. Good to see you, buddy. That's a great call. Alpha Alpha Zero Zulu. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Guys, it's great to see you today on a beautiful Friday. Tom in Bahrain. Congrats to Jen. And she says, you have an N in your call sign, even better. Yes, the November stuff. Rodney says, I learned to take off my coax when there's a thunderstorm. And that is true. It's good to do that. And also that you can melt copper wire to resonancy by using an amplifier that is strong enough. That is true. Yeah. The key thing, like on antennas, especially if it's a vertical, right? And you've got multiple elements, make sure they don't touch. Just don't let them touch, because you're going to find a bonded bunch of copper. That's what you're going to find. Make sure they stay apart from each other. There's a reason you want to separate different elements on a vertical antenna. It's very, very important. Please don't do that. Also, if you got a Yagi and like something's breaking on it and one little element's kind of going wonky and touching another one, that's a bad thing too. You'll have better days if you don't let that happen. No. Yeah. Don't let things touch each other. It's okay to touch, you like to hold hands and stuff with your spouse, but it's not okay for your antenna to hold hands with each other's elements. No. Tano, thank you. I've been here before, not consistently, as I'm in the prison of self-employment. Oh man, work your tail off, man. Do it. It's worth every minute, because there's going to come a day when you're not going to be able to. I never thought I'd be disabled at 51 years old. My gosh, never in a million years. Then it happened. So, man, it's just one of those things. I appreciate you coming, and I'm thankful for your life. Thank you, Tonto. It's nice to meet you. Jim Spikes, hello. Hope to see some of you at the Huntsville Ham Fest. He's on the flea market chairman, and we have a few tables left. That's cool. Get a hold of him. November 4th, Kilo Hotel. He's got a couple of spaces left for the flea market in Huntsville, the world's most famous and happy ham fair ever. Huntsville, coming up in August this year. Please go. Jim, that probably wasn't a very good promo, was it? Oh, well, we tried. Yeah. The Huntsville Ham Fest is known as the friendliest ham fest of all. And I'd love to go sometime. That's a bucket list one. That and the Dayton one and the one that's over in Florida, the Hamcation one, that'd be so doggone much fun. Oh my gosh, we'll have fun. All right, real quick. We got to go through this real quick. It's Friday, so let's do this. We've got a little bit of DXpeditions going on to some good places. Rwanda, 9 X-Ray 2, Alpha Whiskey, 160 to 10, sideband and Morse code plus digital on that one. That's a good one to work. Rwanda, 9 X-Ray 2, Alpha Whiskey, all right? Gaboon, also another one, Tango Romeo 8, Charlie Romeo, 40, 30, 20 meters in CW. St. Lucia, Juliet 68. This one's going to be on HF band, CW, SSB, and radio teletype, plus FT8 and FT4. Look at that, 1,500 watts, using step IRs, plural, inverted V, my gosh. Try and get St. Lucia, Juliet 68. You should hear them, no problem. Faroe Island, Oscar Yankee, being done by Delta Lima 6, Juliet Zulu, is Oscar Yankee Slant. Delta Lima 6, Juliet Zulu, 40, 30, 20, CW, QRP, holiday style, so when he has time. Also, through the 19th, Sao Tome and Principe Island, that'll be Sierra 9 Echo Foxtrot Whiskey. So, Sierra 9 Echo Foxtrot Whiskey being done by Kilo 9 Echo Foxtrot Whiskey, 2040, 15 and 10, sideband only. So try and work that one. That goes through June 19th. So just about to close up on day after tomorrow. Another one here, Macquarie Island. This is Victor Kilo 0 Mike, Quebec. All right. This is done by Victor Kilo 5 Hotel Zulu. It'll be high frequency SSB and FT8. Beginning date was approximate. They thought maybe June 15th through July 31st. So listen for the call sign Victor Kilo 0 Mike, Quebec. That's a good one to get if you can. All right. That's a very, very good one. Also still active, Somalia, June 16th through July 16th, Golf 01 Oscar, Golf Oscar, pardon me. Golf, let's start over. I can read well. 60, did again. Wow. Yes, it's been a weird day, guys. Sorry. 6 Oscar 1 Oscar Oscar. 6 Oscar 1 Oscar Oscar. Being done by Hector Papa 3 Charlie Quebec. Mogadishu HF, spare time operation, locally going to be in the evening, so take a listen if you can for that one. Again, the call sign 6 Oscar 1 Oscar Oscar. Zimbabwe goes on through June 29th. It should start here today. That's Zulu 2-1 Romeo uniform. It's being done by a few Russian stations there. 160 to 10, sideband and Morse code, plus some digital work too. Asagawara starts tomorrow. That's Juliet Delta 1 Bravo Mike Hotel. Look for that one. It's Island on the Air Asia 31, 40 to 10 meters CW, sideband RIDI as well. Janmayan, that one is Juliet X-Ray, being done June 22nd through 27th by Lima Bravo 5 Sierra Hotel as Juliet X-Ray slant Lima Bravo 5 Sierra Hotel. SSB plus FT8 should be good. And then you see the rest of them. Asagawara Market Reef, Greenland. Greenland's hard to get. It is. Oscar X-Ray 3, Lima X-Ray. That starts June 27th through July 11th. Okay, so listen for that one. That's Island on the Air, North America 134. Okay, and that starts again June 27th. Call sign to listen for is Oscar X-Ray 3 Lima X-Ray for that one. All right, very few contests this weekend. We do have the West Virginia QSO party going on, plus the Battle of Carabobo International Contest is happening this weekend. All Asian DX Contest Morse Code also this weekend. That's happening June 18th at 0 Zulu through 24 Zulu on the 19th. And that's Morse code throughout Asia, 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. If you got the Battle of Carabobo, this is worldwide 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. High power is 1,000 watts. Look at that. Low power is 100. And then you can kind of see the different classes there for that one. IARU Region 1 6-meter contest, 1400 Zulu June 18th through 1400 Zulu on the 19th. Of course, it's on 6 meters, sideband, and Morse code. Also, the West Virginia QSO party, 1600 Zulu on the 18th to 400 Zulu on June 19th. 40, 80, 20, 15, and 10. Morse code, sideband, plus digital modes. That's nice. They're doing digital for that one. ARRL Kids Day is going up on June 18th. That's tomorrow, 1800 UTC through 2359 Zulu. And that's just a nice little youth event for the ARL. Plus, journey back to 1776, Davidson's Fort, Old Fort, North Carolina. Call sign to listen for Whiskey Alpha 4 Tango Romeo Sierra. The plan is to be right about 14.314. They've got a nice little QSO card for this event. So if you'd like to be a part of that one, listen for the call sign Whiskey Alpha 4 Tango Romeo Sierra. And this weekend is a very special weekend, near and dear to my heart. This is Scouts on the Air weekend. This is WHOA weekend for the Boy Scouts of America. Call sign to listen for. This is from June 18th, 14 Zulu to 2000 Zulu, Whiskey 1 Mike. It's being done out of Russell, Massachusetts. Again, Whiskey 1 Mike. Listen for him on 7.190, close to that frequency. 10.115 on 30 meters, 14.060 on 20, and that'll be 14.290 on 20 meter sideband. Again, Whiskey 1 Mike is the one to look for. Don't forget today's topic question. What's something you've learned about in radio? Let us know. We'll make it part of today's show. Winans got Market Reef. That's good. That's very good. That's good. Let's see, where are we at? I think we're catching up, everybody. And there's Jeff. Thank you for the Huntsville Hamfest info. It is the third largest here in the States. It's also the friendliest Hamfest. Huntsville's really special. Dan Jenna, did someone say CW? Yes, that's pretty sweet. Well, and thanks for being here. For all the newcomers, thank you for coming today. It's not common for me to ever cut a show 3 times. It's never common. But today was the day we did, and I'm grateful that you're a part of today's show. We try and do things that are funny, and we try and make radio lighthearted so that it's not so heavy-handed for newcomers to come into our hobby or think that we're exclusive and we talk language and jargon that they don't understand. We try and make it fun. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. We're going to go up to the crow's nest. And by the way, we have 2 Angry Ham segments today. First one right now. We'll see how the show's going so far.
Play the men in the theater box. Don't boogie in the barnyard.
Great. Angry Ham segment number 1. There you go. Okay, this is an educational trivia question, and I think it's really cool. By the way, the score right now is 50-50, North America and the world in a tie. One of the first radar systems used by the U.S. Army in 1939 was called the SCR-268. What frequency RF did it use? All right, so was it A, 100 megahertz, B, 14.313 megahertz, C, 2.3 gigahertz, or D, 200 megahertz. Again, this goes back to 1939, so I know it's been a while, but what frequency of RF did the first radar system use SCR-268 by the U.S. Army in 1939? Was it A, 100 megahertz, B, 14.313 megs, C, 2.3 gigahertz, or D, 200 megahertz? First one in with the right answer gets it for their country. Good luck. Aaron, yes. Height is always might. Absolutely. No doubt about it. First one comes from the state of Wisconsin. That's Will Myers, Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike, who got his hex beam on the mast today. We're proud of you, William. Yes, we are. The answer is D, 200 megahertz, and he's 100% right. Well done, man. You did it. It was 200 megahertz. Yeah, the U.S. Army's first frequency to use radar was way back in 1939. They were on 200 megs. Can you believe it? That's the answer. Tom in Bahrain thought maybe B, and yeah, any of these seem plausible, right? Jeff had D, whining with D. Charlie in I believe Atlanta by way of Bahamas going to Arizona had B. It's good to have you back, Chuck. Missed you, buddy. Andy Cowley had D. Aaron with C. Siobhan in Ireland. We're just say Ireland because you got an Irish heart. She has A. What a voice she's got too. Wow. Wicked Loud One had D. Barry Wendon, welcome from England. It's good to have you. He had C. Very good. Okay, second trivia question of 2. What frequency in the 20-meter band is was used by the International Beacon Service? Now, there's one on 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10. Nothing goes below 20. So where is a 20-meter beacon found? Okay, is it A, 14.250, B, 14.100 megahertz, C, 14.050 megahertz, or D, 14.000 megahertz, okay? Looking for the beacon on 20 meter. What frequency is it on? It's all part of the International Beacon Project, where you can find out from which continents you can hear signals. And this helps you know, for example, let's say in the States, you could hear the beacon out of Australia, and then you know you can work Australians. It's kind of cool. What is the one on 20 meters? What frequency is it on? A is 14.250 megs, B is 14.100 megahertz, C is 14.050 megahertz, and D 14 megahertz on the button. A, B, C, or D. First one with the right answer gets it for their continent. Good luck, my friends. First in from the UK is Andy Cowley. Answer C, 14.050. Oh, Andy, 2 Echo 0 Romeo Echo Echo. So close, so close. Will Myers, state of Wisconsin, answers D, Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike. Trying to go 2 for 2, but that's not the answer either. Well, good try on that. Charlie, Red Summit RF, 14.050. That one's not it. Winan from Africa, in Namibia. He answers B, 14.100. And you know what, Wine? I've looked back at all of the ones that you've done, and you know what? This is the very first one that you got right. Congratulations. I am so happy for you, mate. I am clapping myself. It is. It's 14.1. Yeah, that's where you'll find the beacon on 20 meters to find out if other continents can be heard where you live. 14.1 megahertz, and that's worldwide. So how the beacons work, just in case you're new to amateur radio or don't know about beacons, the beacon project, how it works is basically a beacon is transmitted once on every frequency from 14.1 megahertz to the high end of the 10-meter band at 28.2 megahertz, followed by a 130-second pause, after which the beacon transmits again. That's how it works. So it's on a 130-second pause after it transmits each time. The one that's on 20 meters is at 14.100, and whining in Africa, you got it right. Congratulations again. That's really cool. Yep. Andy New, Mike 7, Charlie November had C. Aaron with B. Ron in Canada with D. Jeff in East Tennessee had a B. Ron also got the B. Look, the B's are all coming in. This is good. Acid Drop by Siobhan Buddy got B. Rudolph Smith, welcome with B. And Andy said, total guess here. Don't worry about it. It did it right. One says, Larry, what I learned is always to be surprised on propagation or expect the unexpected, like my contact on Canada on 6 meters. That's a nice comment, Winan. Thank you for that. That's really good. Well done. And Andy, look at this. Well done, Winan. We needed that one. It's a tie score again. Yeah. 55-55 now. The world and North America tied up. That's really good. Winan, great job. I'm so happy you did it. You got the answer right. That's really pretty cool. All right, folks. Don't forget the question. What have you learned about in radio? We'll put it as part of the show. But first, we're going to go to our Discord channel and to have fun with Discord today. I think it's a Friday. It's going to be fun. We need to have something a little fun music-wise. Don't you think so? I think maybe a little bit fun music might be a little bit cool. So let me kind of look through my playlist and let's play something fun. All right, that's fun. Our Discord channel can be found on ham-radio-live. There'll be a link to it at the top of the description section of this here video. If you go down to the second page, it says #funnies. On Fridays, that's where I go to find all the fun material that we get for the show. So here we go. First, before we get funny stuff, we have a guy that watches the channel, Al Gross. This is actually cool because look at this old ham radio license. It's from 1935, and the name is Irving Al Gross, but it's not our Al, but still. I thought it was kind of cool. Jeff in Orlando, look at this, in Ocala, Florida. Look at that lightning. This is lightning that he captured right over his pasture area there in Central Florida. This is so cool. Wow. Adam, thank you for sending this. I appreciate that. All right, in the funnies, Rodney, Papa Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey, who is always on time for funnies, and I love this. I told him, me or your radios? He replied 73 and he left. It's great. Also, he got this one. I still hear these voices telling me, buy another radio. Also, Nacho Average ham radio operator. It's a picture with a cactus and a giant sombrero saying nacho, like nacho cheese, average ham radio operator. Well done, Rodney. Jeff said this one, I believe, says one does not simply leave a ham fest empty-handed. True. Very, very true. Next, this is from Rodney in Holland. You know it's hot when your tower wilts.
He's dead, Joe.
Yeah, pretty much. That's fantastic. Good job, Rodney. These are really funny. Next, things I do in my spare time. Use my ham radio. Look at ham radios. Research ham radios. Talk about ham radios. Think about ham radios. And finally, dream about ham radios. Rodney, you outdid yourself. Here's the ham radio contact sport shirt. That's pretty fun. Look at this one. This is great. This is Dilbert. If I left engineering and became a manager, would I be as sexy as I am now, Liz? And Liz says, I think it would decrease your sex appeal by 70%, but that's just a planning number. And then Dilbert comes back with, what if I got my ham radio license to compensate for the loss? She said, look at my arm. Goosebumps. Very funny. Next, ham radio is like chat roulette, except the ionosphere decides which old guy is on the other end. Oh no. WECB 640 from Boston sent this out. One man plus a soccer ball equals 2 beautiful girls. One man in a BMW equals 3 beautiful girls. One man in a gorgeous yacht equals 4 beautiful girls. And one man and his ham radio equals 1 man and a puppy dog. No, a cat. A cat, sorry. Can we substitute dog there too? I don't know. That's very funny, actually. Next, Rodney from Holland, Papa Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey. I tinker with radios past my bedtime. Next, ham radio social distancing for over 100 years. Well done. Also, from WECB 640, this is on back of a vehicle. I was coding before there was, and that's Morse code right there. Also, Rodney showing the ultimate bird sanctuary there. Just need a Yagi and a whole bunch of antennas. You got the entire flock up there resting. Well done, sir. That's very, very good. And we got more funnies for you. You got to see it first. Let me get this scene set. Look at this.
Who is it?
Mr. Shea, NCIS Special Agent Tim McGee. We spoke on the radio yesterday. Sir, it's vital that we talk to you.
I've got to put some clothes on.
Reason why stereotypes exist, McGee.
Yeah. Well, this guy has no driver's license, no home phone, no cell phone, no reportable income since 2007. So I think this guy's going to be exactly who you picture when you think of ham radio weirdo.
Got it. Bet he doesn't open the door?
No.
I was wrong.
You so stipulate that all words and actions will be recorded and uploaded live onto a secure server.
That is hilarious. I mean, seriously. NCIS, and that came from Spike U-boat guy up in Montana. Spike, thanks for the NCIS drop. That was absolutely hilarious. It truly was. All right, so we've got a few more things to share with you. This comes back at us here from Tom. This is cool. 1990 versus 2011. Take a look at this. These are comparisons in years, right? So the 1990 guy's really skinny, right? And he's got a big, gigantic TV. Then in 2011, the TV is really small, but the man gets gigantic. Very good. Thank you, Tom. And then we go to 1916, where lots of people are on the corner. They're reading the newspaper and everything. And in 2016, everybody's reading their cell phone. Now we go from 1996, where mom is pulling the kid by the ear to come inside from playing, to 2016, where mom is pulling the kid by the ear to get off the phone and start playing. Tom, again, well done. Now we go 1940 to 2019. In 1940, it was common to dress very nice with a beautiful hat, a suit, and a tie. In 2019, we wear baggy pants, a very baggy t-shirt, and we've got a gigantic hanging medallion from our neck. Awesome. All right, 1913. 3 people, because a horse wasn't available, are plowing the field. In 2013, we have resistance aerobics. Tommies are great. Next one, 1950 to 2020. In 1950, women dressed very, very nice in beautiful dresses. You know, they sometimes had gloves. Some would wear a hat, right? They just look very, very feminine, very beautiful. In 2020, it's how many holes can you have in your jeans? Tom, you're doing yourself, mate. Now we got another one. Okay. Landline united the family. This was in the past. And today, mobile divided the family. Now, how true is that? You know, I was in a store recently where a mom and a kid were shopping, right? This is no lie. Mom and kid are shopping. And the mom is telling the kid to get off of his cell phone so he could help her pick out what food, you know, that the kid wanted. And he wouldn't get off the freaking phone. I was like, I almost grabbed the kid. I said, your mother is talking to you. Be respectful to her. Jeez. Anyway, not my place. Okay. So then, here's the last one. This is the best of show. Imagine you're traveling and opening your passport at the airport and boom, this happens. So your kid gets a hold of your passport, draws a mustache and a beard on you, and then draws all over your important passport. Tom, this is the best of show by far. By far. Absolutely hilarious. Look at this picture of the guy's passport. Totally ruined. That's great. All right. We're now going to go into a segment, and this is up to you. We're going to call it Angry or Funny. This guy has a YouTube channel. And I'll put a link to it so you can join if you want to. And he's ranting about different things. Some things I find very true, like radiograms, right? Some things I kind of go, oh, brother. But we'll make you make the decision. Find out what you think about this video. It's perfect for a Friday Funnies show.
I'm going to tell you some truths about amateur radio. I am a ham radio operator. Also, some hams will say, my call is WA1000-4ID. Why do they say 4ID? Isn't it kind of obvious when they give their call it's for their ID? Hams just need to say a lot of words. Other times you'll hear a ham say, I'm going to let you go. Well, what he really means is he's going to let himself go. He doesn't want to talk to you anymore. For whatever reason, he's got to leave. So he says he's going to let you go. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Then there's this thing about traffic nets. You know, in the old days, 20, 30 years ago, there must have been a reason to send messages by ham radio. But now with the internet and email, even telephone calls are, the most you can ever pay is 10 cents a minute. Why would anyone want to send a message via ham radio? Who would ever want to get a radiogram? Can you imagine someone picking up the phone and saying, hi, I have a radiogram for you? Who cares? And then there's this net here on Cape Cod called the Cape and Islands Traffic Net. They've never had emergency traffic. But for the last 20 years, they've been asking for it. And they stand by for it. And they've never carried any traffic, as far as I know, that was worth anything at all. But every night, like lemmings, they meet, they pass this useless traffic, but actually most of them don't have any traffic. And then off they go. Then there's this lowest form of ham radio operator called contesters. These are hams that get on the air and see how many other hams they can work in a short period of time. They don't exchange any useful information. They don't say their name. They don't say their location. They don't say anything about their family or their transmitter or their rig or the weather. They just give their call and they give a signal report. But aha, is the signal report accurate? No. Every signal report is a 5.9, which means it's a very strong signal. Whether it is or it isn't. Signal report. Then these contesters, they think it's really cool. They use this thing called the packet cluster, or some sort of a cluster, in which all the long distance stations, DX stations, are listed. And they call that exciting. Imagine a hunter going into a zoo and killing animals. There's not a whole lot of contest where every animal is located and they're behind a cage. Plus, think of it this way. During a contest weekend, a man usually abandoned his family. His children could be graduating from high school or college, but if there's the sweepstakes known as the SS, I don't think it's named after that German thing, that German Nazi thing, but it's called the SS. These guys are nuts. They go crazy for these contests. They stay up all day, all night, and exchanging totally useless information. Now, have you ever seen a ham radio operator? They are fat. You go to a ham radio flea market, and these guys are huge. They're blimps, most of them. They don't know anything about physical fitness. I don't know if they've ever actually gone outside. Of course, there is this one contest called Field Day, in which the hams are required to go outside, and they have to run generators and emergency equipment, and it actually causes them to use some physical exertion. However, not too many hams participate in Field Day compared to the other contests, because it would require physical exertion. Now, I haven't talked about the difficulty of the amateur radio exam, how you get a license for a ham, to get a license. It's not very difficult. All the questions are published. All the answers are published. The only skill that used to be required was code, which you may have heard in the background. Code is no longer required. The basic form of communication is no longer required. They say code is ancient. Well, is walking ancient? I mean, to get around you have to walk. That's our basic mode of transportation, although we do use cars and bicycles and mopeds. But ham radio operators, the tests are not difficult. My youngest daughter passed it when she was 8 years old. Now, was she above average? Yes. But she was 8. Maybe she had a mental age of 10 at the time. And she didn't just pass the lowest class license. She had the Technician Plus. So, how difficult could it be if an 8-year-old could pass it? And as far as I know, I've heard that some 5-year-olds have passed it. Then there's this thing that hams do when they, instead of laughing, they say, hi, hi. Now in Morse code, that means laughter. You can understand why they would use it on Morse code. Because on Morse code, you can't tell if the other guy is laughing. Because he could send out da-da-da-da-da, which means H-A, ha ha. But they use hi, hi, because it's in Morse code it's shorter. It's da-da-da-da-da, it's a little bit shorter. But why do they use it on voice? I mean, can't they just laugh if something's funny instead of saying hi, hi? And some hams even go to the point of spelling it out. Instead of saying hi, hi, which is bad enough, they say H-I, H-I. Then there's this thing about antennas, that hams have a right to put basically any monstrosity type antenna that they want without having to going through zoning regulations. The FCC has allowed this. It's something called the PRB. And the reason that's allowed is because hams are so-called public service. 99% of hams have never performed a public service in their life. The only thing that most hams do is serve themselves. Now, occasionally there is that other 1% that do serve the public. But most hams have been displaced by cell phones, telephones, the internet. They are not needed any longer for public service. They are there to serve themselves. Hams will call CQDX. That means they don't want to talk to Americans? They don't want to talk to other Americans? How would it be if I went on and called CQ white people only? Or CQ Italians? Now I can understand someone occasionally calling CQ to a specific country. They want to talk to someone in their homeland, or they have a reason to talk to somebody in that particular country. But CQDX means CQ no Americans. That's what it really means. Most hams have no balls. And I guess I shouldn't say that, but they don't. I remember an example. I was hated by many hams, and you can understand why. And I went up to a flea market and I said I would be there in a yellow raincoat. And it was a sunny, beautiful day. And so I was going to stand out like crazy. And all these hams that threatened me on the air, not one of them came up to me. But those are hams. They hide behind their mics. You take their little microphones, and they're big and tough behind these microphones. But they're kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Take them away from their microphone, and they're little tiny, little meaningless little people. Actually, little fat people. But gut-wise, they don't have it. Then there's this term they use on repeaters called DFQ, dead full quieting. Well, full quieting means that there's no noise behind the signal. Oh, then that would be full quieting. So what would dead full quieting be? Quieter than quiet? Less noise than no noise? I don't quite understand that. Well, you know, whenever I hear the term pileup, I'm thinking of some guy getting a proctologist exam and someone looking for piles. But I guess that's not what it is. It's when there's a station in what's called a rare country. And of course in ham radio land, countries are a little bit different. Did you know that Alaska was a country? Hawaii was a country? In fact, there's over 350 countries. But they're not all really countries, are they? Big gun doesn't necessarily mean someone who knows, who has experimented and done a lot with his equipment. It's the guy who has the big money. like this. The more money you have, the bigger the equipment you can buy. And that's what makes you a big gun. You
All
have
right, so
2,000.
let's just cut him right there and ask the angry hams upstairs what they think of that guy.
I think it should be declared a mistrial. What do you mean, miss? He hit every one of them.
The angry hams have chosen. Some people, their way of fitting in is to not fit in. Just that's the best way to look at that, okay? And it's not, you're trying to find information or trying to find something about somebody and classifying them, he's that's his thing. Just put it that way. That's the way he gets his attention, and it's too bad, but we don't do that here, right? I was interested in your comments. And angry was way ahead of funny. And once I saw Kevin put that up, I personally find him offensive, not funny. That was the end of it for me because it's like, you know what, I'm not going to offend people here. I don't want to do that. But I found that to be interesting because I was waiting for a comment to come and it didn't come during the video, it come after. And here it is. Ron Walensky, isn't he on 80 meters? That absolutely made me laugh my head off because I was waiting to finally play this.
Tell me what to do.
There you go. You got it. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those things. And, keep in mind, that's his shtick. Everybody has their shtick of what they like to do. And the call sign at the beginning is not a call sign anymore. So he's changed it again. And that's just life, guys. But it's interesting to see other YouTube content, right? And it is. And I will put a link to his YouTube channel here. I really will. I told him I would. It was funny. I told him I found it funny to listen to in the van as I was driving back from a painful appointment. And the reason I found it funny is because some of this radiogram was humorous to me. I thought, geez, I've never even heard of one. So for me, it was kind of funny. But there were parts of it too that was very offensive, because it's like, you don't need to go into being personal on people. But when you don't have any guardrails, right, there's anything goes. Kind of that way, right? I'm glad you guys aren't that way. And I'm honored to do the show for you every day. That part for me was interesting to see how you found that segment because I found it profound. I did comment and I did tell him I was going to put it on the channel. And I said, I have a channel that helps people to license and get into our hobby. And his response was, nowhere in the FCC listing about amateur radio does it call it a hobby. And I said, well, that's true, but nowhere in the FCC manual does it mention FT8 either, but it's there. Yeah! Enjoy your day. It's good to see you guys. Happy Friday. And I really mean that. Do something fun this weekend. This is the weekend before field day, by the way. Next weekend's going to be busy on the bands. Everything's going to go crazy, and you're going to be just having a hard time and praying that 17 will have an open spot for you. That's the whole thing. And Jenna, this is where we both get together. Yeah, I never have heard of radiogram. It's just, that's the way it is. Never heard it. Jeff, he's like an insult comic. But yeah, if you remember... He's like a poor Rodney Dangerfield, like really on the poor end. He's trying to be funny. You can tell it based on the edits and how it's edited. And that, oh gosh, it's like, this is the 9th take. I got to do this again. Kind of like that. Well, life isn't that way though. Amateur radio is a fun hobby. And it's a hobby that we use every day to our best advantage. And that's true. We do that to our best advantage. If we have to go, sometimes we have to go. That's life. But I wanted to end this show with something that I think is really, really important for all of you to remember. Amateur radio is something very, very special. It's worth saving. It's worth having. It's changing for sure towards digital modes. We can see that. That's absolutely for certain. That's absolutely for certain. It's doing. But I want to remind you what the code is for amateur radio. He or she never knowingly operates in such a way as to lessen the pleasure of others. They're loyal. They offer loyalty, encouragement, and support to other amateurs, local clubs, and the IARU Regional Radio Society in their region or country. They're progressive. He or she keeps his or her station up to date. It's well built and efficient. Friendly. They operate slowly and patiently when requested. They offer friendly advice and counsel to beginners kind assistance, cooperation, and consideration for the interests of others. These are the marks of the amateur spirit. They're balanced. Radio's a hobby. Hobby! Jeez. Never interfering with duties owed to a family, job, or community. They're patriotic. His or her station skills are always ready for service to their country and their community. This was written by Paul Siegel in 1928. So this doesn't just come out here last week or last year. This is almost 100 years old now. Amateur radio is a gift, and we all are blessed to share in it. And I'm really glad that my life is sharing it with you. I want you to know that today. It's a funny Friday. We had some great stuff. Love Tom's stuff. Love Rodney's stuff. Love all your stuff. Thank you for sending it to our Discord channel. Remember, Friday Funnies will always be here on Fridays, hopefully, as long as we want to keep doing it. So just keep sending your funny stuff to the hashtag funny site on our Discord channel. It's easy to find at ham-radio-live. There'll be a link to it in our description section below where you can get right onto that page and have some fun. We'll have some fun after the show today. Hopefully I'll get on usually about 10 to 15 minutes after the show has been aired so I can put the Discord link in there. My name's Larry. My call sign Amateur Radio is Kilo 7 Hotel November. We want to help you get your amateur radio license. It is the best hobby on earth. It really is. Contact someone like the Radio Society of Great Britain. They are really good at helping people get licensed around the world. Let them know you want to be a licensee and where you're from. They're going to send you an email with a ham radio license club that's really close to you, that's going to help you understand what the hobby's about, how to pass a test, and maybe help you get on the air. www.rsgb.org. Until we meet again, we're going to do a sign-off from the country of Panama. My name's Larry. God bless you wherever you may be in this world. Happy Friday. Goodbye, everybody. Hold on. No disrespect to the country of Panama. I'll play the whole thing. I promise. I won't do it. But something came across that I have got to stop the show for because this is way, way, way too important. We celebrate amateur radio licenses here. We do. We celebrate people licensing and licensing up. It will always be part of the show as long as I do this show. This just came through at the very end of the show, and we stopped the very end of the show. Will, Kilo November 6, Tango Zulu Kilo. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Will took his exam. He fought through everything. All the wind, the ice, the snow, the heat of the lamps, and the whipping of the VEs. And he got it. He's a new general licensee in amateur radio. Will, Kilo November 6, Tango Zulu Kilo. Congratulations. Well done, mate. You did it. You did it. Doggone it, that's great news. Proud of you, man. Really proud of you. Congrats on getting the ticket. All right. Now we'll close the show. We've started it 3 times. Might as well end it twice. God bless you, people. Have a wonderful day. Use your spirit to do good things for people today, and you will sleep well tonight. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, did you ever hear from Michelob Ultra? I got it.
So I'm training for this big role. It's a Michelob Ultra commercial.
Michelob Ultra.
Lower.
Michelob Ultra. Method. Oh, use the opposite hand. I think my character's left-handed. Who's the character? Michelob Picklestein. Michelob. My name is Tommy Ultra. Tommy Ultra?
I like beer! So sorry, I might even get my own beer truck.
Matt. Yeah.
I'm the new spokesman.
I'm employee of the month.
It's not a competition.
This is yours. And relax.
You gotta be fit. You gotta love Michelob Ultra. It's not like anyone else could do this.
Name?
Pardon?
What is your name?
Chris Pratt?
Over there, bud. Thanks.